listening to the Flickcast, the podcast about stuff nerds love. I am Chris Ulrich, and joining me, of course, my co-host, Joe Dilworth. Hello, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I was trying to rush through that because I realized I hadn't taken enough air in my lungs to keep talking. So I'm like, I got to hurry. I'm running out of air. It was
Breathing's good.
It was I don't know why I started without breathing. So I usually take a deep breath and then begin. And then let us begin. But
we've had, as we usually do towards the latter part of the year, we've had a lot of wildfires here in the Pacific Northwest. And occasionally we have heavy smoke in our area
I hate that.
because of it. And that, is a good reminder of breathing is good.
It is, yeah. Not having to breathe smoke is really good.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had that here, but I do remember having it in California when I lived there. It was very, there was a lot of it.
It was not like it was 2 years ago where it was like a very dark orange yellow outside for 3
terrible.
days. Yeah, but this year I did get alerts on my phone to the air quality index, and I've not had those before, so that was interesting.
Oh, it had to alert you saying don't breathe now? Can you hold your breath
it's basically
for the next couple of hours?
It was basically like if you go outside, you're probably not going to breathe, so you might want to stay home. So.
Please don't go outside or you're fucked. Oh,
right.
See, I snuck in an F-bomb. Look at me.
Oh, man, you right off the bat, too.
I was doing so well.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, well. That's okay. Last week was fun. I enjoyed the all sort of picks episode. That was interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was. We should do one of those every once in a while.
To talk about things that we're enjoying a lot.
I think we kind of do those at. We've been doing those at like Christmas time. So.
Yes. Well, also like end of the year kind of what we enjoyed from the entire year, which I'm sure we'll do again. I'm still enjoying all the things that I mentioned. Pennyworth is getting weird, which I appreciate. It's getting more weird. And a few other things. And I finished the season of Tears of the Dragon, or whatever we're calling it.
Years and years of the dragon.
Years of the Dragon, yeah.
Yes.
Dragon of the Fire Dragon. I don't know. It's fine. But yeah, but there's a lot of news that happened. There's a lot of things that have come to light in the past week or so, which we haven't had a chance to discuss.
It was a big week. I think this is going to be an all news episode because a lot of stuff has happened in the last week.
It'll be as consistent as it possibly can be.
Yes.
Talking about things. But yeah, what do you think is of all the things that have been announced or that have come to light or happened, what do you think is the biggest sort of entertainment news? Is it the James Gunn thing? That's pretty big.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me personally, the biggest news is
the Doctor Who thing.
Doctor Who streaming on Disney Plus around the world, and we can get into that in a little bit. But I think probably the biggest seismic news as far as entertainment as a whole and people in general is probably James Gunn taking over the DC movie and TV universe, which I think is great. It's good that I think it's fantastic that they not only have two people to run that arm and actually plan it out, but I think it's great that they have a producer and a creative, as they call them, that are in charge of it. So I think it'll go well. I also like the fact that Gunn has obviously got deep roots in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he and Feige are still pals. So maybe at some point down the road,
crossover,
Marvel DC team up movie. That would be great.
I think it's funny too. Peter Safran is the producer you're talking about, but it's funny that people were like waiting for Feige to weigh in. So Kevin, what do you think about James Gunn's deal? And I'm sure he was very happy for
sure. I mean,
even though they tried to fire him a couple of years ago, and he was fired, but that's fine. I'm sure all things are forgiven now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just you're right. It's like it's like the press. Yeah, the press immediately tried to spark this controversy and rivalry, and they're like, no, I think it's great. Good luck. It's
I don't think that James Gunn will make another Marvel film after Guardians 3. I think that'll be it.
No. Well, he's kind of said that he was done with Marvel after that anyway. Everyone's like, what about the Guardians of the Galaxy? He's like, he said that was going to be the final one, and that probably likely to be his final Marvel movie. So I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I'm not even going to say Marvel. I think he's done with Disney also because
it's probably true.
I mean, he did say some stupid shit on Twitter. Let's be honest.
Yes, he did.
But I don't know if that was firing offense, unless he's actually doing those things that he was joking about, which I'm sure he's not. Although I guess I don't know 100%. You don't know anybody 100% for sure, but
yes.
But I'm sure that was a painful time, and there was a lot of things. He might have some hard feelings. Who knows? But I really think it's unlikely he would do anything with Disney again. And so I guess he doesn't have to now because he's got this Disney deal. I'm not really sure that he has to work even. I'm sure he's fine. So
I think he'll probably direct some movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously going to do Peacemaker season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess if he could do anything he wants to right now, I guess, because he could just greenlight it. It's like, no, I'm going to do this.
Well, I don't know about that, but what is he going to? He's got to get that Batgirl movie released then.
You think so?
Maybe. I hope so.
I think they should at least stream it or release it on Blu-ray or something. That just seems weird that they have this completed movie that everyone involved was excited about, and everybody wants to see, and they're like, yeah, no, we're just going to... I refuse to believe that it will never see the light of day. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League got released, for God's sake. So,
yeah.
you know.
Well, we'll see. We'll also see how long, because the deal's only 4 years, and so we'll see how long that they enjoy working for David Zaslav, who wants to destroy everything.
Yes.
And does not like creative people at all.
Right.
So
right.
I would imagine. I mean, he doesn't seem to be. I don't know if Michael DeLuca is a terrible person, but I think David Zaslav is a terrible person.
The fact that it's a 4-year thing, I'm like, they're not even going to start making anything in 4 years. That just seems like a short, in terms of movie making and creative direction, that seems like an extremely short period of time.
Yeah.
But
it does. Well, yeah. How much can you really get done, especially when he's still finishing Guardians 3, and I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure there'll be a Peacemaker season 2, which is probably already in the planning stage and was already greenlit. It's probably a season 3 that's already greenlit too. But
yeah,
so I would imagine there's going to be things that will come out that he's not going to make or not going to direct, because you can only direct one thing at a time. But he can certainly write some stuff. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, Kevin Feige was able to do what he did with Marvel because he had 10 years or more dealing with these characters and dealing with the studio and the confidence that he built up. I mean, James Gunn has some good films, but I don't know that he doesn't have the producing sort of, I don't know. He's got a certain aesthetic, and I'm not sure that is exactly what's needed for DC. I kind of like the fact that his stuff was more not like mainstream DC, although maybe that's what they're trying to do now. I guess they're trying to go a different way with it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I guess that's probably why it's initially a 4-year deal. It's like, okay, we like your proposal.
Yeah.
Let's give it a few years and see what happens. I mean, it may get to the end of the 4 years and Gunn's like, yeah, this is not really what I wanted at all. And
bullshit.
Yeah. But I think Feige was like, had terms on his contract every few years. He had to renew and stuff. So, I don't think necessarily that 4 years means anything either way. It's like probably a standard, well, let's start out and see what happens. And then, towards the end of that, I'm sure they'll negotiate to say, well, this worked. Let's keep doing it. Or, let's part ways and best of luck. So,
yeah. Well, I'm also talking about just the James Gunn aesthetic,
Oh, yes.
Because I think it works for certain types of stories, and I think it works. Like, I can't see him directing a Superman movie because I don't know that his aesthetic would fit for Superman.
He said he wouldn't direct a Superman movie because for that very reason, and I don't think that
or Batman or any of the sort of those kind of characters. But
I think he knows ideas and concepts and characters that work. So I don't see him just like. I don't see him walking into the boardroom with like this chart of like these wacky characters no one ever. Here's our 15 movies for the next 5 years, and they're like, who the hell are these guys?
It's all Plastic Man all the time. No.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I mean, I think.
You don't think he just goes in the room and whips out his dick and drops it on the table?
No.
Okay, probably.
I think he's pretty savvy, and he wouldn't have been offered because I don't know. He wouldn't have been offered the deal if it was like. They're not just going to say, well, hey, we'll give you a chance. And then after we sign all this and give you this money, then you can tell us what you're going to do. He would have said ahead of time. Him and Safran would have said ahead of time, here's our vision for it. Here's what and they were like, yes, that's what we're looking for. Good. So.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, his movies that he makes for DC, Warner Brothers, whatever, are among the few that actually make money.
Right, exactly.
Him and The Rock are basically the two guys who make money for DC now. Or for
he's he seems sort of like I don't want to say anti-Snyder, but
A little bit, yeah.
On the other side of the spectrum from Snyder, because Snyder's all like dark and
are you saying Snyder's on the spectrum?
And all that. That's not what I'm saying. And then Gunn's all about,
whimsy,
dick and fart jokes and giant starfish and stuff, which I thought were pretty great. But
right, but in for certain films,
yes,
for certain projects, yeah. But you're right. I mean, he does, I think, know where his strengths are, and maybe he's not going to try to plug himself into everything if he's smart, which I think he probably is. So, but I think it will help to have somebody like that who obviously has a high degree of creative vision. I hate to use that phrase, but and takes things in a different direction than maybe they've been going in with Zack Snyder and all those kind of people. So, yeah, I think I think it's a positive. Of course, people are outraged. Some people are outraged,
of course,
and think, oh, I'm leaving. I'm never going to watch another DC movie if Zack Snyder doesn't get to be in charge.
Yes.
So
yes,
we had several movies with Zack Snyder in charge, and they were all pretty terrible, except for Wonder Woman for the most part.
I didn't think they were terrible, but okay.
Well.
So
okay,
I mean, they say they were, and it's funny because it's like Zack Snyder has no concept of these characters, and he's ruining everything. What? You fired him? No, we want to see his vision. Bring him back. And it's like, wait, what? That was like a real 90-degree. I mean, I got whiplash on that turn. I'm like, wait, I thought he was destroying these beloved characters, and now you're like pissed that he's got what? I don't understand. But
yeah, I think, Zack Snyder, I think, enjoys making movies for Netflix, maybe, because he can just do whatever he wants.
Sure.
And has very little oversight, which is fine. I'm not saying the movies were terrible. I didn't mean terrible. That's not what I meant. I just think that if you look at all the DC movies as a whole, the ones that he didn't direct, I think, were better. Like Wonder Woman, I think, was a lot better. But they weren't. But his other ones weren't terrible. And then, Suicide Squad I thought was really good and funny, but it's just he has a different aesthetic than Gunn, and so it'll be interesting to see. I wonder if they're trying to capture some of that Marvel magic. I don't know, but I think anything you want to know about Zack Snyder, you can find out just by watching Sucker Punch. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Exactly, and I don't think that this isn't going to be James Gunn going, you know what we should do, right? Because he's got Safran there. I'm sure they have discussions, and he'd be like, so yeah, James, I understand maybe you want to use Ambush Bug and do the Inferior Five, but that's just not going to happen. We got to do some, we just gave Henry Cavill a house full of money. We got to do some Superman stuff, probably Batman, but in amongst those, we can do some of these other things, like maybe more Suicide Squad or some other characters that maybe actually now we'll get a decent Green Lantern movie. Obviously, it appears that much against the efforts of Ezra Miller, they're going to continue with The Flash.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's coming in and they're wiping the slate clean, because they obviously have characters and actors that they want to continue to work with and develop. According to Henry Cavill, we're going to see a more joyous Superman. So maybe this is more in line with, I don't think it's a complete, like I said, a blank slate, start over. It's okay. Let's do some course correction here and get more in line with what people say they want to see, so that they can trash that when we make it. So,
right, exactly. Well, that's the internet. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Everyone's welcome to their own opinions. I'm really interested, though, if we're talking about Zack Snyder for a second, I really want to see Rebel Moon. I think that looks...
Yes, I'm excited for that.
It's probably going to be a gigantic, epic turd, but maybe. I mean,
I don't know.
The cast, Sophia Boutella, Charlie Hunnam, Ray Fisher, who apparently does not hate Zack Snyder,
No.
Dima Hansu, Jenna Malone, Corey Stoll, Ed Screen, Carrie Elwes, and Sir Anthony Hopkins. I mean, come on.
Yes.
So
that's a great ensemble, and it's a sci-fi movie, and
yeah, I'm down.
I think it's an original idea, and Netflix is going to do whatever you want. So I think that will, I say that, and then what is it, Army of the Dead or whatever, it was not very good.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Again, nobody sets out to make a bad movie. I'm just saying.
I'm a little worried that. Well, he wrote the script too with the guy who also wrote Army of the Dead and
yeah,
whatever, and also I mean, he did have something to do with John Wick 3, so I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
that's true. Yeah.
I'll still watch it because I do like epic spectacles.
Exactly. So
I even kind of liked, I mean, I've liked all his movies for the most part. It's just I don't think he's the epic or the king of all movie making as some people think.
no, I think he.
Nor do I think James Gunn is the king of all movie making either.
But Zack Snyder, James Gunn, James Cameron even are amongst the handful of directors that I'm like, they have a new movie out, I'm watching it.
Yes, well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
People always people talk about you can tell a James Gunn movie.
Right.
It's definitely got his stamp on his signature on it. And you can tell a Zack Snyder movie. You can tell a Jim Cameron movie because it's unbelievably expensive and really long.
10 hours long. Yeah.
What is it? What is the length for Way of Water? 3 hours and 32 minutes or something?
Yeah,
That's the running
something
time
like that. Yeah.
So,
but they make sprawling, Zack Snyder and James Cameron especially make very sprawling, epic movies. I mean,
would never have to make another film after making Terminator 2 and Aliens and Titanic. He never needs to do anything again. It's like, I'm James Cameron, motherfucker. What have you done?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I made the most expensive, highest grossing film of all time. Still, I think Titanic is still the biggest one. But
well, that's why he can go, you know what? I don't have to do anything ever again, but I want to make 18 Avatar movies. And everyone's like, okay.
Sure, you do that. But,
yeah.
And
I saw the story where he was, they were giving notes, I think, on Avatar or something like that. He was telling the story. He was meeting with the studio people, and they were like, oh, they wanted to change a bunch of stuff in Avatar. And he was basically like, so the last movie I made paid for this building that we're in and the studio that we're on. I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
It's like, and I can totally see him doing that because he is an egotistical bastard, but he makes good stuff. There's not a James Cameron movie I haven't liked.
It's like he's got Titanic fuck you money.
Yeah, exactly.
As I've said before, it's like, I don't need your input. Thanks, executives.
Yeah, exactly. I know what I'm doing.
We're good. Yeah, we're good over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure James Cameron's going to be fine. I'm sure Way of Water is going to be amazing. I mean, even just some of the footage I've seen looks looks terrific. Technically, it's a technical achievement. And I also love the fact that he's still hanging in there with what's his face too. So,
what's his face?
Sam Worthington. He's just still giving Sam Worthington a job. So good for you, man.
Poor Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's like one of those people that everyone was trying to push Sam Worthington on everybody, and people are like, no, we're good. We don't need Sam Worthington. And so if he could just calm down, and I don't know, he's not terrible. It's just he's not fantastic. It's just he's sort of there.
It's
and
just
in a movie
material,
where
I think. I don't know.
And as a character where he plays an avatar and he's like a green or a blue monster or whatever, or blue whatever, that's fine. It's perfect for him. Especially when there's motion capture, because his performance can be more wooden anyway. So it's
the
fine.
Blue CGI character is more interesting than anything he's done as himself. So
yeah, exactly. So did you see that thing where they were talking about how all the actors were like having contests to see how long they could hold their breath, and apparently Sigourney Weaver could hold her breath for like 7 minutes underwater?
Yeah. It's like, that's funny.
That's amazing. I couldn't do that, I don't think.
No, I could not. I can go maybe like a minute and a half or something like that. She must be fit, like super fit. Even Zoe Saldana was like, wow, that was impressive. Oh no, Kate Winslet had the record though. Oh, did she?
She had 8 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, 8 minutes is an eternity.
Sigourney Weaver seems to have still stayed in shape and looks great.
Well, yeah, and she must not hate Jim Cameron and Kate Winslet obviously doesn't hate Jim Cameron either. So it's like,
no, I know. It's funny because you hear stories like every movie. I think the only person that truly hates him and will never work with him again is Ed Harris. But everybody else who has been like, oh, I'll never do another movie with him again, does like 3 more after that.
I feel like Ed Harris's problems a lot of times were just Ed Harris being Ed Harris too.
He seems pretty intense, even when he's not.
Yeah.
Even just in interviews and promoting movies, it's like he's pretty intense, and maybe personalities clash.
That was probably, I would imagine though, from everything I've heard, and I know a few people like who worked on the Abyss actually, it's like the worst shoot experience ever.
Oh,
literally,
yeah, no, because
it's the bar that everyone cites as like the worst time they've ever had on a shoot. And Mary Elizabeth Masters Antonio will never work with, they're like, everyone had a terrible time. It was the worst months of their lives.
The movie studio in North Carolina I worked at was not when I was working there, but they had used some of the facilities there. But more importantly, people that worked at that studio and also worked on some of the films that came in had worked on Abyss. And I'm based on some of the stories I've even forgotten at this point. I'm surprised that James Cameron was allowed to make another movie after that, but
it still made some money, I think.
Yeah, but he's.
It's an amazing film too.
I
really
is.
Enjoy it. Yeah,
it is, and I don't know. He's even talked about how he was an asshole making that movie and has learned from it. So I get it. He's egotistical, but I think now he's not.
He's mellowed.
Like trying to kill his actors anymore. So.
He's got to get that performance. We really need to drown you for this scene to make it seem like you're.
But he does get great performances. I mean, that's.
I don't think you can act your way out of this. I mean, he's probably a terrible person. Just we're making excuses for the white dude again. So,
but people still give him money and still go see what he makes. And
I
still
don't know.
Work with him, so.
I mean, where did the money for Avatar and the next Avatar movies come from? Is it from a studio?
I think it's from him.
Who's paying for it? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
He's just mad he's never won an Oscar for Best Picture or for Best Director. So there you go.
Anyway, we have other news to talk about.
So that I'm looking forward to see what James Gunn and Peter Safran do with DC, and hopefully we'll get some more Batman films, which of course we're going to get. There's now going to be a sequel to The Batman, which is cool.
We're definitely getting more Superman movies. That's been
that was my transition. I was trying to transition to Henry Cavill.
I stole it from you. Sorry.
It's all right. Henry Cavill. I mean, this is spoilers for Black Adam. If you haven't seen Black Adam, yes, Superman appears at the end of Black Adam as played by Henry Cavill. He shows up and says, "We get to talk, Black Adam," and he's like, "I don't talk to whatever."
Yeah, with a little bit of the John Williams fanfare, apparently. So.
Yeah, he's like, "I don't talk to pussies," and then they fight.
Does he really say that? He's like, I fight 1 quarter mile at a time.
A quarter mile at a time, yeah.
I guess that's not really his movie, but
that's not really his franchise. Different franchise, buddy.
Yeah.
So of course, The Rock is announcing that Cavill, he worked really hard to get Cavill back in the suit, and Cavill has now announced that he will be playing Superman again, and also, I guess probably in concert with that is that he's leaving The Witcher after season 3. So
yes.
To be replaced by Liam Hemsworth, which I thought was an interesting choice, but
that's
it's a choice.
Yeah, that's a casting choice. That's for sure.
It is a casting choice. Yeah, I could see it being the other Hemsworth, Luke, maybe, or no, Luke Hemsworth.
Yeah.
He looks more like a Witcher than Liam does.
And let's be honest, Luke is the better actor. So
he is, and it can't be Chris, obviously, because Chris is too busy making Thor movies for life.
Yes.
Or the sequel to the movie where he rescues that kid, where he dies at the end, but still is making a sequel anyway.
But there's a sequel.
There's a sequel. It's a prequel, maybe, where
it's a prequel sequel. I don't know.
He's really an immortal who comes at the beginning of the film. He just comes back to life. And wakes up in the hospital.
It's actually a Highlander movie. He's
a Highlander
reboot. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, which Cavill's also making. Yeah.
Damn it. So I think Cavill's like, I got The Witcher going. And I did the service that I could do for the IP that I love and the game that I love, and I can only do this for so long. But I want to make movies because movies pay better, and I love movies, and I also want to play Superman.
Yeah.
So
I think obviously we know what Cavill's contract for The Witcher was for 3 seasons.
Yeah,
and I think you're right. He got to the end of that, and he's like, well, I'm going to be making more Superman movies. I'm attached. We're supposed to be getting the Highlander reboot going, and I guess there's a Guy Ritchie movie he's shooting. So he's like, as much as I might love the Witcher franchise, I've got these other things that I also really want to do, and I gave 3 years to it. And I guess I'm just surprised that instead of going, well, we'll end the show or we'll focus on a different character, they're recasting. So I find
he's playing Geralt? Liam is going to play Geralt or a different Witcher? I guess he has to play Geralt, right?
Yeah.
So, I think Netflix is like, oh, this show makes money, so we want to keep it going as long as we can.
Which is kind of surprising because a lot of their stuff doesn't go more than 3 years or so.
Let's give Liam Hemsworth a chance.
Yeah,
all we are saying is give Liam a chance.
Was he just the only one available? Sorry, I don't mean to speak.
He's the only one available. Are you the only actor? Are you the only white male available? I don't know.
He's the guy in the back that goes, well, I'll do it.
I'm a Hemsworth.
Yeah.
That's got a name. Oh, you're Chris Hemsworth? No, I'm Liam.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, the show's gonna tank, and I'm not gonna watch it or have anything to do with Henry Cavill again because they're like, oh, he's quit it. It's like, no, he just didn't renew his contract. He's gonna go do other stuff. Honestly, I think it'll do just fine. It seems to be. I mean, they're doing a prequel miniseries. I think they've got some other side series. I don't think Netflix is going to be lacking for Witcher money for the next foreseeable future. So I think it'll do fine. Maybe it won't have the same audience, but I think even if it lost like 10% of its audience, it'd probably still be doing really well. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean they haven't even started filming it. They just finished Witcher season 3 filming, and so I don't know. It's kind of premature to say that Liam Hemsworth is going to suck because he's not even done anything yet.
Maybe this is the role he was born to play. We don't know.
Yeah, he'll bulk up and he'll do fine. You know what? Yeah. Geralt doesn't talk that much, really. I think it'll be fine, and it really doesn't, in a way, matter. I mean, it matters who plays the part, but not really. I mean, he's in makeup. He's in a it could be. I mean, you're right. I think it could have been. Let's just tell the story of some of the other Witchers that we have on the show, or the women. The women could be in charge for once. They can get things done. But then I guess the show couldn't be called The Witcher because anyway, it doesn't matter.
It could be called A Witcher. I don't know. But
toss a coin. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm not that invested in it, and so I mean, you're right. I think that he probably had the option for more seasons. He's like, no, I'm good. And plus, he's getting a little older, and he probably wants to do all the Superman stuff while he can. And maybe he's just getting tired of working out all the time too. That can be kind of a tedious thing.
Well, he still has to do that for Superman, but not as much. A lot of that can be done with the suit. But
with the suit, the suit helps. I'm sure with that. But it's like Clark takes off his shirt maybe, but.
Yeah.
But, and of course, people are like, oh, well, Amy Adams can't play Lois Lane. She's like 40 now. Oh, my God.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I saw that.
She's too old.
It's like, really? Come on.
I mean, I guess, but, Henry Cavill's older, too. It's not like he's, whatever. Yeah. Lois Lane's supposed to be like 12 or something. So
I guess it's supposed to be some parallel or parable about a child. I don't know. But
I don't know. As long as he keeps doing more Enola Holmes movies, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. Millie Bobby Brown's another one. Anything she's in, I'm going to watch because she's really good.
She could take over The Witcher. Come on.
There you go. See, that'd be inspired. That could be
her third franchise for Netflix. Just let her take over The Witcher too. She could be at Witcher and be fine.
There we go. That'd be great.
I would totally watch that, by the way. And that people would watch that.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that'll be great.
It's like, what if 11 was killing demons and shit?
There you go.
I mean, she's basically already doing that.
I was going to say,
she's already doing that. So. Yeah. And she gets a big sword, and it's good. So.
And people would be like, yeah, I'm on board. Everyone in the world's going to watch that. So
of course they will. So
I'm just waiting for her to be on Star Trek or a Star Wars show at some point. So
yeah, Millie Bobby Brown as young Leia Organa.
There you go. I would totally watch that. It would work.
I'm confused by something in Andor, which I don't know if you've gotten that far yet, but there's a scene where Stellan Skarsgård's character refers to the woman who works with him as Leia.
Does he really?
Yeah, he calls her Leia. I don't think that's supposed to be Leia though, but it's interesting.
Well, I've heard there's somebody that I haven't gotten to yet on the show that everyone's speculating is actually Leia because the actress looks remarkably like a young Carrie Fisher.
Well, he's calling her Leia, so maybe it is her.
I think her name is. I thought it was something that was similar to Leia, but wasn't Leia.
No, he literally said in this last episode, he literally called her Leia.
Oh, well, there you go. So maybe I'd be okay with that if they introduce. It makes sense that she's working with the rebellion, right?
It does. It does make sense. It does make sense that she could be working for that character, Luthen.
Luthen.
What do you believe in, Luthen?
Oh, Lex Luthen. Oh, wait.
Lex Luthen. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to look. I'm sorry to diverge to Andor for a second. But anyway, we don't have to do that. But yeah, Henry Cavill, I'm really happy to see him playing Superman again. I think he did a great job. But people are saying he's the only Superman. I'm like, I don't know. Christopher Reeve was pretty good at Superman, people.
Well, that's what people were trashing when they did the Williams fanfare, apparently, for the cameo. Everyone's like, no one under the age of 40 is going to have any idea what that is. Why do they even put that in there? That was stupid. It's like, are you kidding? That's like the iconic Superman
theme. Yeah, it's in every movie.
And what do you mean people under? I was like, what the hell? So now we're going to gatekeep cameos? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one true Superman, I'm like, I think Christopher Reeve might have something to say about that. But maybe even George Reeves. But
exactly. Or Ben Affleck. Wait, no.
Right. Or Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. That's right. Oh, the Superman. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Very nice.
It wasn't bad. Well, it's not bad. It's just, you just like yell and make no sense. So.
Yes, exactly.
Nicolas Cage, everybody. Yeah. More Superman films, more Henry Cavill. I'm fine with that. Henry Cavill's awesome, and I would like to see him in another Mission Impossible movie, but it's probably not possible. So,
as long as he's like cocking those guns,
exactly, dude, love that.
Did you see he actually talked about? He was asked about that in an interview. They're like, so
of course they did.
What was up with that? And he said that it took him 3 weeks to shoot that whole fight sequence, and he was getting tired and.
I believe it.
He was doing that with his arms to like bring feeling back into his arms, and just happened to did it while they were rehearsing. And then when they actually did the take, he didn't do it. And Macquarie was like, "Well, you didn't do the thing." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "You didn't cock your arms." He's like, "Well, I was just doing that for feeling. That's stupid." And he's like, "No, it's brilliant. Do it." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So that's where that came from.
Are you talking about McHugh? That you're talking about?
McHugh. I'm sorry, McHugh. Yes.
Oh man.
So I thought that was a great story. That it's
I heard the same thing, that Tom Cruise and McHugh looked at each other and went, "Whoa, I was gonna get that in the movie."
Yeah,
I feel like Tom Cruise is like an advocate for everyone else on the set. It's like, even though they're not all Scientologists clearly, but he's like, I think I really think he generally wants to make good movies, and so his enthusiasm is probably very high. So I can see he and McHugh like high fiving when they saw that and going,
That's kind of one of the reasons why I despite the weirdness, I still like Tom Cruise, because not only does he make really good movies, but from everything I've heard from other actors, like from the beginning, they're like, he's very, very generous as an actor. He doesn't have to be like me, that he absolutely gives away scenes to other actors when it makes sense.
Well, like the scene in Top Gun with him and Val Kilmer, he gave he gave a lot to Val Kilmer in that scene, more than he needed to necessarily. But
well, and apparently he was like, "We're not making this movie unless he's in it."
Yeah.
Period. He's got to be in it. So. But no
Slider. I don't know what happened to him. But,
yeah, but so he just it doesn't. That's why the craziness and the other Scientology stuff and all that just doesn't make sense. Now we're going to get sued by Scientology, which, hey, you know what? That might increase our profile if we could get sued by them. And
right, we have to talk shit about something and take a really polarizing stance on something.
So then if we get sued by Scientology, that'll get reported in Hollywood Reporter, and then that's when the 6-figure deals for our podcast will come in. So
that's correct. I like it. I like it.
Let's do it. Yeah. And then we can film a documentary about how we were attacked by Scientology, and it almost tanked our podcast, and it was saved because
persecuted.
We convinced Tom Cruise to come out of the closet on our podcast, or something. I don't know.
His career that I enjoy is Sam Witwer.
I like Sam Witwer. Yes,
he provides many cool voices. Like in the last episode of Andor, he's like the stormtrooper who does this guy. It's like,
he's done a lot of stuff in Clone Wars and animated Star Wars, and
I saw something like they were talking about how you never run on the beach in Miami because then they'll arrest you or something. So it's like, that was kind of funny. But did you watch that episode? No, you probably didn't watch that.
No, and Sam Witwer is also at the end of Solo is Darth Maul.
Solo?
Because he did the voice of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. Oh, maybe he only does the voice of Darth Maul, but that's not Ray Park, I don't think, at the end of Solo.
No, I don't think they're going to work with Ray Park anymore. Apparently, Ray Park is a problem. So.
Yeah, everybody seems to forget that. They're like, "Oh, why did they cut? Weren't they going to have Darth Maul and Kenobi? Why did they cut that out?" It's like, you don't remember the whole him posting him having sex with someone that wasn't his wife. Everyone seems to have forgotten that, because I'm like, he had issues and then ranted about it and stuff. People are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, really? That's all anyone could talk about for like 3 months, and everyone's forgotten that.
People have a short memory, so
yeah. They're like, "No, he didn't. That was." I'm like, "Okay." So,
no,
anyway.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
I love him. No. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that.
No, let's not.
Let's not talk about that. But I think that it's going to be cool. I think that more Superman's good. More of all this stuff is good. What other news has happened? I feel like we're
we got some Marvel stuff. We're
not transitioning fast enough here.
Yeah, well, not only do we have the Guardians Holiday Special trailer, but we also have news of a new show being developed, Vision Quest. So
Kevin Bacon, I'm happy to see him get a job. That's nice.
Yes, he was already kind of in the Marvel universe. He was in he played a character in one of the X-Men movies. So
who did he play in one of the? Oh, he played the Nazi guy, right?
Yeah. The guy in first class or whatever, last class, whatever.
Was it first class? It was, right? He was the scientist in first class, yeah. Well, I saw something that he and his wife had lost all of their money with Bernie Madoff, so I guess that they do need to work. So he'll.
I guess. Well, I heard too, though, that anytime anyone mentioned to him about him being talked about in the Guardians and Avengers movies, that he thought it was really funny. So. Obviously, he enjoyed the jokes, and now he's going to be a part of it.
You have to have a sense of humor if you're Kevin Bacon. Is what you're saying?
Yes. How many degrees away from him are you? Have you figured that out yet?
Like one.
Yeah, I think I'm like one or two. But,
yeah, not too many. But I think that's gonna be fun. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that it looks interesting, and I also think that it's a funny joke.
Yes,
where they're on the Earth and they do whatever, which is interesting though, because that's, I guess that makes sense. It's Earth of the time that we're in, and let's get him a Christmas present. It's Footloose is the greatest movie. So if there's if there's not a dance off between him and Kevin Bacon in the movie, I don't know what's going on, what we're even doing here. But
it has to result in some way in Kevin Bacon becoming an honorary member of the Avengers. But
it does. Yeah, he becomes an Avenger.
No, I think it looks great. I think my question is, will Peter Quill go to Earth? Because he never seemed interested in visiting Earth, but told everyone else they should. So
I feel like he's on Earth at some point in the trailer. Maybe not.
Is he? Maybe. Maybe you're right.
It's probably too painful for him because.
Right. Absolutely. So. It'll be it looks great, and James Gunn has said that he feels it's the greatest thing he's ever made, and can't believe he got away with everything he did. So, and that should be out here shortly too, in just a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
So, very much. I bet I will. I won't put money on it, but I'll bet in association with that holiday special, we'll also get like a teaser trailer for Guardians 3, because that comes out in May.
You think?
So, yeah.
You may be right. Hey, I realized this show is going to come out the day after Halloween.
Are
you doing anything special for Halloween? Have you watched any horror movies in preparation for a Halloween night or anything? Do you do any of that kind of stuff?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So.
I've watched a few horror movies. I watched the Halloween Ends movie. Barbarian, by the way. That's a creepy movie. You should watch that.
Okay. I actually heard that was... surprisingly different, I suppose.
It is surprisingly different. Yeah, it's got a good twist.
So I might enjoy that. So I will check.
You don't actually.
I like Justin Long, so
I do. Yeah, it's got a twist that you don't necessarily. I prefer movies now that I don't know what's going to happen.
Yes,
because it's hard. Yeah. I'm not so smart really, but I do know how movies are made.
Right.
And so there's not that many ways to tell the story. So the idea that I didn't really see it coming very much was good, and that's interesting. And I think that's why. I keep saying this. I think that's why I like Andor, because it's not doing the thing that most shows do. So,
I'll go check it out. So.
Yeah, I would watch Barbarian. Yeah, that was actually gonna be my pick this week, but
I don't do any of that stuff.
No,
so
no, I get you don't have little kids anymore. They don't care about Halloween.
Yeah, no. This will actually be the first year that we're not going trick or treating. And my youngest has no interest in it. Although he's like, maybe I'll go next year, and I'm like, oh, okay. So,
I think that anybody who comes to the door who wants candy should just get candy. We're gonna sit in the driveway and hand out stuff. We're just like, here you go, candy for everybody.
We have some stuff set up on the front porch that's kind of fun. That was kind of more the fun stuff for us this year. We did not get full-size candy bars, and I apologize in advance for that.
Oh,
I have
God.
a friend that bought like 70 or 80 full-size candy bars, and I'm like, so you're gonna have about 75 candy bars to eat after this? He's like, yeah, pretty much, because nobody ever comes to our house. But he goes, that's my excuse to load up on candy every year. So
Yeah, we get full size candy, and then we also do, like, when that runs out, we have backup smaller candy just in case.
gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people come by our place. Actually, it's a pretty. I mean, I'm not saying we live in a fancy neighborhood or anything, but people do drive into the neighborhood to trick or treat. So
Nice. I think this year will be a bigger turnout than probably the last couple years.
yeah, although it's a Monday night, which kind of sucks, but
Yeah, and it'll be raining here in Portland, which it always rains on Halloween anyway. So
that's more atmospheric though. That's kind of cool.
it is, yeah, and it is. Some years it even gets foggy and stuff, so it's great.
Wait, how
But
does, by
hey-
the way, I'm sorry. How does
No.
I just have one question? How does Yondu appear in the Christmas special? Because he's
Well-
listed in the credits.
You'll have to watch.
I guess I will. Thanks.
Yeah.
And Cosmo the space dog.
Well, he's in the trailer. You
Yeah,
see
he
Cosmo. Or she. I don't know. Can't remember. I thought there was a female that was doing, female body
Yes.
person that was doing the voice of Cosmo.
Maria Bakalova.
Yeah, so
As Cosmo the space dog.
if only there was something coming up that you could watch that would explain it to you.
Yeah. I still find it interesting that both Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel just do voices in the movie.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, Bradley Cooper is still doing the voice of Rocket because, I don't know. It's just funny to me that
You would think, though.
Academy Award winning director, actor, Bradley Cooper, super, famous person's like, I like doing.
I think that's cool because they do
No, I do
good
too,
at it.
yeah.
But I think what I'm surprised by is that there isn't, unless there is, but there isn't like somewhere in all of those movies where both of them do some kind of cameo or like, they're in the background in a crowd scene or something like that.
Yeah, they probably can't schedule that, but what they can do is schedule like one day for them to record everything.
Well, true. Yes.
Or they go to the set of their other movies and they just make a booth where they can record shit in their trailer.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel doesn't have as much to do. He's probably already done all his I Am Groot that he needs to do for the entire franchise. But Bradley Cooper actually has lines. So
Well, yeah. And what I like too is that Vin Diesel does a little bit more work because he also does the I Am Groot in multiple languages for the foreign versions of the movie.
but that's still like one day, dude.
I know, but still.
One
But
short
Bradley
day.
Cooper puts in the work. I mean,
He
for
does.
sure.
It's probably a couple days for him.
Yeah.
But
Because neither one of them does any of the motion capture for. Because Sean Gunn does Rocket motion
I don't
capture.
think Bradley Cooper is going to get into a mocap suit for rocket money. I'm sorry. It's like I can't
For
I can't get on my I
rocket
can't get on my knees
Like,
anymore anyway.
That's going to cost you another $1 or $2 million if you want me to do that.
I'm not saying he's a mercenary. He's probably a decent dude, but it's just I can't imagine that he's got the time for that either because he's probably
I
busy.
remember him on his when he started out on that Jennifer Garner show. But,
Alias, yeah.
Alias.
Casual Will.
He used another one like Ryan Reynolds when watching Alias. I'm like, that guy Bradley Cooper, that's a really good actor. So I think towards the end of like last couple seasons, he really wasn't in it much because he was getting movie work. And I'm like, well, that's not surprising because he's probably the best actor on the show, other than Victor Garber.
Well, he didn't have much to do because he was like in love with Sydney. But
Yeah, he was
then
the roommate.
She was like, nah, dude, I got to be a spy, yo. I got to go do my bank shit.
They eventually got him like it was funny. It's one of those shows where they had like, we're going to have these characters that are roommates and friends outside the spy thing to show the contrast and stuff. And they all ended up either getting killed and brought back as spies or they got in it somehow. So it was like, it got convoluted, but it was still a decent show. I kind of liked it.
Well, I think partially he would be the first to admit that his work on the show was subpar because he's also had a huge drinking problem at the time. So
Well, there's that. True.
he got demoted on the show,
Oh, that's right. Yes.
but then he did Wedding Crashers.
They were like, you need to take a break from this show. And he's like, great, I'm going to go make a few million doing a movie. So see ya.
No, I mean he did Wedding Crashers, which was a huge hit,
Yes.
and playing the asshole, remember, and then Hangover, and that kind of blew. And then he blew up. So
Oh, that's true. Yep.
so
So,
that's how Bradley Cooper became a superstar.
hey, but still speaking of Marvel,
Yeah, Marvel, sure.
the other news bit is Marvel,
bit.
Disney's in development for a series called Vision Quest,
I like it.
starring Paul Bettany as Vision. So
I like it. They're still going to work with Paul Bettany, even though he's a Johnny Depp apologist.
Yeah, I guess so. So we'll get to see what happened to Vision after WandaVision.
Well, I assume that was a foregone conclusion that we would have a Vision show. It just made sense.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know what happened to White Vision. I'm just saying.
They're whitewashing Vision.
They really are.
He was literally a person of color and many colors.
He was a person of color, and now he's white.
Yes.
How come there's no outrage about that?
Right. I know.
Where is the outrage?
That's...
It's not funny, but that's in this one context, it's sort of funny. I apologize. I know there's a lot of representation issues, and we realize that.
That we do not mean to belittle that at all.
No,
in fact, we're very big advocates for more diversity and representation. But
say the two white guys who host the show.
Right, exactly. But it is kind of funny that's an unintended...
I don't think I've never seen that even mentioned though. I don't think, but unless maybe
no, and it's really not. It's silly. It's a stupid joke and doesn't. Need to be
well, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to feel terrible about it. It's just it's something that happened. We have to move on. Let's move on.
Yes, let's move on. But hey, I'm definitely more Bettany as Vision. I'm a big fan.
No, I like Paul Bettany,
and I'd like to see what they do with this and how they bring back the one true Vision. So.
I care about this a lot, but what I want to see is Paul Bettany and Russell Crowe getting back together for Master and Commander Part 2.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I want to see a sequel. But there's always those polls on Twitter and whatever. Oh, what movie you think deserves a sequel? And I'm always saying Master and Commander because we need to make another one of those. But it'll probably never happen. Even though Russell Crowe is down, I'm sure. But Russell Crowe is not what Russell Crowe was back in the day, I guess.
No. Well, I was going to say... I guess there's no. I was going to say there's deleted scenes from Thor: Love and Thunder that are that movie really polarized a lot of people. Yeah, apparently the deleted scenes are like, see, there was a much more serious movie that was going to be made, but they decided to be silly and stupid and cut all that out. And it's like, well, I don't think that's entirely, but whatever.
You're stupid.
I like that movie a lot. I think we've talked about that. Anyway.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
So the other
it wasn't as good as Thor Ragnarok, but whatever.
Yes. The other big news that we hinted at and talked about a little bit at the top of the show is Disney Plus becoming the streaming home of Doctor Who outside the UK. I think this is pretty it's really interesting because this is a show that, for better or for worse, and with and without gaps, has been in existence for 60 years, more or less. It has been back as a show since 2005. So getting the production deals that it's getting and getting the exclusivity on Disney Plus that it's getting for, even if you count the return, is still like almost a 20-year-old show, is pretty amazing, pretty fantastic.
Yeah. The question I have, though, what people were talking about is that, will this mean Disney's going to pump some money into the show and like up the production value? Because I've heard that is part of it. So here's the thing: before this deal, with the exit of Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor and Chris Chibnall as the showrunner, they have brought back Russell T Davies, who brought back the show in 2005. As part of that, though, he now has his own production company, Bad Wolf Productions, which is him and the producers of Doctor Who when it came back. They went and did their own. They produce his Dark Materials and a few other shows that have done well over the years. So they came in and said, "Yeah, sure, we'll come back and do the show, but it's going to be under our production banner. We're going to put our money into it, and we're going to have creative control." And the BBC said, "We'll still own it," and that sounds great. Right around that time, Sony bought a controlling interest in Bad Wolf Productions and want to use that production company as their kind of premier production hub in Wales for British programming. As such, they're pumping a bunch of money into all the productions that Bad Wolf is doing, including Doctor Who. So it's already got Sony money coming in. And then
they signed the deal with Disney to say, hey, listen, we need to have a home worldwide so that it airs at the same time as it airs in the BBC on the same day and all that. And Disney was like, great, and we'd like to put some money into it as well. Now, as part of it, apparently they do get some creative say-so, but the BBC has ultimate veto power on all of it. So everyone is like, oh my God, Disney's going to buy it, and they're going to turn it into a Disney show, and it's going to lose, the Britishness, and it's not going to be the same show. It's like that. I don't think that's going to be the case because, first of all, they'd be stupid to go, okay, so we're just going to completely reboot it and redo it, which they're not, because they have David Tennant coming back as the Doctor under mysterious circumstances for the 60th anniversary next year, and during that and right after it, Jodie Whittaker from Sex Education is taking over as the 15th Doctor. So they're continuing the continuity, continuing everything that was. It's just going to look like something that can compete with, say, Mandalorian or Andor or things like that. So,
it'll probably bring in new audience, I would imagine, because
absolutely.
I think some people have problems connecting with the show because it's low production value and everything. But I don't know.
And also, it's like it has sort of been on BBC America,
hard to find, in
the U.S., but they haven't. They're kind of. I don't know if they're on their way out or whatever. They haven't really promoted it well the last few years. Other than that, it's like hit or miss where it airs. So having a unified streaming service, and people are like, I used to watch it for free. Why would I pay for it? And it's like, well, it's same argument for Star Trek. And again, at the same time, they're not making it for free. They need money, right?
Yeah, I mean the BBC doesn't need money, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think. There's just positives all around. I mean, again, my history with the show, I watched it since I was a kid, and because it's been around that long, it's been around longer than me. And it is, my favorite show, bar none. And I've always loved the changes that have happened. It's one of those shows that it's like, if you don't like what's going on in the show, wait a few years and a new producer will come in, a new actor will come in, and it'll go off in a new direction. So I'm very excited to see what all of this that I just talked about means for the show, how it's going to look, what kind of stories. Russell T. Davies is already talking about writing different stories for it because it's a show that can be horror, it can be comedy, it can be
anything,
historical, it can be anything. And so he's re-energized and very excited about writing new things for it and taking it in new directions. So I am excited as well. I can't wait to see what happens. So anyway,
did it bother people that people were waiting for the new guy to come, but then it was David Tennant, right?
So that was kind of a weird thing because they announced Jodie Whittaker as the new Doctor.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And then right after that, they're like, oh, and David Tennant's going to come back as the Doctor for, they didn't say exactly what he was going to play at the time, but he's going to come back for the 60th anniversary. And, here's the other thing, too. Nobody knows. Doctor Who anniversary specials tend to include a lot of actors previously on the show. They did that in Jodie Whittaker's final episode that just aired. They had some of the surviving original actors that played the Doctor in the before times, before it came back, appeared as a Doctor, because you can do that in science fiction, as well as some of the people that were companions. So if they did that in a show to mark the anniversary of the BBC, essentially, who knows what they'll do for the 60th anniversary. So
who knows?
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see the show re-energized and continue going. Because, a lot of people, trusted sources were saying, oh, yeah, the BBC doesn't care about it anymore, and they're looking to retire it and be done with it. And it's like, well, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So,
well, I'm sure people are worried that Disney are going to Disneyfy the show too, or something, and try to make it more woke, dude, or whatever.
Well, it already did that. They had the first female playing the Doctor, and then after Tennant, Jodie Whittaker is a person of color, from not even naturally from the UK. So they are diversifying and have already become woke, as they say. It's like, why would you want to be asleep? Yeah, well, that was the other thing. They're like, oh, they're just going to Americanize Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Disney buys everything. It's like, well, they haven't bought it. They bought the streaming rights. And they're like, yeah, because they are like, we're going to, stream this exclusively around the world. We want it to look decent. Hey, we'll give you a little bit money for production to make it look good, So
I mean, as little as possible, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're not stupid. They're not going to be like, yeah, sure, whatever. They don't just go, yeah, we'll throw you a bone and we'll air it for you. They were like, yeah,
whatever.
A little piece of the pie. I'm sure they're getting quite a bit out of it. So
they just want to wet their beak a little, right? Is what you're saying?
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. That's a.
You're watching too many Pam and Tommy videos.
Tam and Pommy.
What?
Who is that?
Wow. Well,
Oh no, that's like a Godfather reference.
I know.
Come on, it's like gangster shit.
I know.
Anyway,
but I was trying to.
I don't know. I've never. I'll be honest. As I said before, I've never been a giant Doctor Who fan. So I will. I guess. Give it another chance. Maybe
it's a good jumping on point here soon.
Sure. So. Yeah, I like the fact that they're expanding the show and having a person of color. I think is also openly gay too, right? Is he?
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
Yep.
So that's great. I mean, why not, right?
Yep. So
why not? If the Doctor can be anyone, why not?
Absolutely.
A Nigerian gay dude. Why not, right?
Yeah, I'm very excited for the show and the direction it's going. Even I'm one of those too, because I'm a lifelong fan. Even bad Doctor Who episodes are still good to me, and I still enjoy watching it. So,
yeah, cool.
So that'll play into my pick later. But
what other news has been going on, sir?
Man, I don't know. That was a full week. Is that?
That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it seemed like it's like, well, let's just announce everything this week. That was.
Did you watch Black Adam? You haven't watched Black Adam yet. Huh?
I have not. No.
It's making a lot of money.
It is, despite how apparently, it's just terrible. But,
well, it's not a very high Rotten Tomatoes score.
I think what I like about it too is, again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know for sure, but it seems like. I guess I can see why certain camps are very vocally against it and saying it's terrible because, again, another movie with very little whiteness in it.
Yeah.
So it takes place in a non-American country and features non-American actors actually in that country. So,
wait, there's not a lot of white people in the movie? I don't know. Come on.
There's a couple, but for the most part, there's not.
Are they the bad guys?
Pierce Brosnan, and there's the dude that plays Adam Smasher, and
yeah, Pierce Brosnan's the bad guy, right?
No, he's a good guy. He's one of the Justice Society. He's Dr. Fate.
Oh, I thought he was a bad guy.
No.
Is he a colonizer? Oh, that's a different
movie.
By the way, speaking of that, the one thing I was going to mention, there was another rumor about who Doctor Doom is in the MCU.
Oh, have we already seen him? Or
apparently he's already. Yeah, some people are speculating that he's already been seen in Black Panther in particular.
Who's that?
Martin Freeman's character.
Really?
Is going to be Doctor Doom. That's what they say. I don't know. That's what I hear.
I don't even know how that you would get. What?
I don't know.
Did they just like randomly pick somebody?
Well, they had to pick somebody. Yeah, they had to pick somebody. I don't know. I think there was more to the speculation. There was more to it than me saying it. I don't remember. I didn't watch the video, but I've seen it. That had been thrown around like,
is this a YouTube video? Okay.
It was. I like looking at YouTube stuff sometimes and seeing all the speculation. And this one was pretty, from what I understand, there was some documentation.
Trusted sources, I say. Trusted.
Well, no, not necessarily trusted sources, but like here's some clues that might show you why that guy's going to be Doctor Doom. But I mean, he's Everett Ross, right? He's not.
Yeah, that's already. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, not Thaddeus Ross.
I could see Clow becoming. No, not
Claw.
Clow, whatever.
Ulysses Claw.
Yeah. No, I think that is. No.
Forrest Whitaker is actually.
He's
actually Doctor Doom. Yeah.
Yes. M'Baku
I don't know.
is Doctor Doom.
M'Baku is really Doctor Doom. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be. Whenever they finally do Fantastic Four, I'm sure that will be Doctor Doom.
It's got to be. Yeah.
I'm also interested in that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That looked pretty good. The trailer.
Oh yeah, that trailer. Yeah, that's another thing that dropped this week. For those of us that did not attend all
D3.
That looked really good. I'm kind of maybe they're regretting highlighting Bill Murray in that. What the hell? Bill Murray turns out to be an asshole. What?
Well, come on.
And a womanizer. And I mean, I know he plays those characters, but I guess that's really him.
But he doesn't hate Keanu Reeves, though. So
no, he doesn't wish Keanu Reeves was dead. Apparently.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that you cannot. And this is about Matthew Perry, obviously. Yes. I can't think that you can have that level of addiction and that level of illness and come back from it without. I mean, maybe it affects you physically and mentally, both,
Yes.
So maybe the things that he thought were funny are not funny. He apologized and said, I didn't really mean Keanu Reeves. I didn't wish him dead.
I just picked a name.
Picked a name, which maybe it's true, but I don't know. I mean, I guess my question is, he had a nice career and he's probably got money and everything. And, maybe we just leave him alone and let him live his life. We don't have to really worry about it anymore. But people say, he's not going to go out and actually kill Keanu Reeves, right?
Well, no. That's why the whole piling on about him.
He said something stupid, He's never said anything stupid.
Yeah, exactly. He just made a joke. It's like, okay. In a book that he wrote probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I bet he probably didn't even remember that bit until it suddenly caught on. And he's like, oh, crap, I did say that. So
drugs are funny. And maybe he thought it was funny at the time.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think he will no longer work if he wants to, and I've enjoyed some of the things he's been in, not necessarily the ones that everyone likes, but I'm not worried about him. But it's like, geez, leave the guy alone. He's been
Friends
through
was pretty
stuff.
good. I thought
Friends was okay. It was I wasn't a huge fan of it.
It made a lot of money.
It did, yes, and I'm sure if he was smart and hasn't shot up all of his money, that he probably still continues to get quite a handsome paycheck from that show.
Sure, I would
to
imagine.
This day. So
I would imagine so. Yeah, I'm not worried about Matthew Perry or any of the other friends.
Or Keanu Reeves, for that matter.
Or Keanu Reeves. Yeah, I think Keanu Reeves could probably. In fact, if there was a fight between Matthew Perry and Keanu Reeves, I think Keanu Reeves would win. So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they would fight, though. I think they would.
No, if Matthew Perry decides he wishes him harm and tries to stalk him, I think that Keanu, even though he's not a violent person, I'm sure he's learned something from playing John Wick, and and other things. He could probably fight if he had.
I think Keanu would stop him in the park and buy him a sandwich, and they would have sandwiches together, and they would be friends.
Whoa! So, I think you're right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. That's what would happen.
Or he'd give Matthew Perry his seat on the subway, and then they would be friends.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he would use his charm to his goodness to turn it around. You're right. He wouldn't fight him, but he could fight him if he wanted to, and
which is why he wouldn't, because he
knows that he would win. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It's like, no, it would be over in 2 seconds, and I'd rather be friends, because
it'd be 2 hits, man. Me hitting you hitting the floor.
Keanu seems like that kind of guy that, and being serious, that he just like, why fight? Let's be friends. I don't know. Just seems like a really great guy.
He does, but that's how people. That's your perception of people from their appearances in media and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe he hates Matthew Perry. Maybe they got a beef from going back 100 years.
Maybe it could be, and he's like, Matthew Perry's like, I know if I talk about it that he'll come after me and kill me. So
exactly.
They're like, it was just a joke. Damn it! I can't believe I put that in there.
Yeah, this is for you, Keanu.
Yes, it's been this like death.
It's an ongoing thing.
Forever.
They've had beef. They've had beef forever. Yeah. They both really had a thing for Valerie Bertinelli, I think is what happened, and so.
Did they both make out with Valerie Bertinelli at the same time?
I don't know if it was the same time, but apparently.
While Eddie Van Halen was
passed out somewhere.
I was like, why? What? Okay.
It's an odd story to bring up. But okay.
Yeah. Which again, it's like, I think he wrote that book while he was really on drugs, and
you think? Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it makes the writing go a lot easier. Ask Stephen King, he knows.
Well, sells copies. I mean, makes more money, right? So.
Well, that's true. Maybe his handlers have said, hey, if you could sensationalize this a little bit, we'll probably sell a lot more copies of your book.
Yeah.
Because you're the least interesting friend.
You think so? Even more so than least interesting than David Schwimmer, really?
Oh, no, you're right. David Schwimmer is least interesting.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he's the least interesting. Although, he was actually decent in Band of Brothers.
Yeah, he was. He was really good, surprisingly good in that. That was like, whoa.
That, I think, was a role that David Schwimmer was, like, born to play. I think that's him in a nutshell.
Yes.
That's probably how he really is in real life. So.
He needs to get more work like that, I think.
Yeah, a sniveling kind of, whatever. But, it was a good part for him. So, anyway, I'm also interested in the trailer for Quantumania. Looks cool because also we see Kang.
Yes.
Finally, which is interesting, and I'm also curious about Cassie's. We made this device to talk to the quantum realm. Who is we?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know. Yeah. So, who's going to show up? It's Dr. Doom. Everyone, no,
it's Martin Freeman is Dr. Doom, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Mephisto.
Yes, Cassie is actually Mephisto.
Casto is, yeah. Well, Cassie becomes whatever. She's in the New Avengers, right? So
the
Thunderbolts,
Young Avengers.
Young Avengers. Yeah, I don't know. So many now. It's not hard to know.
Yeah, there's so many groups. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think we'll get something in Quantumania where it leads us to Fantastic Four in some way.
You think?
Like there's some kind of Easter egg for Fantastic Four.
It seems a little early because there's a lot of more movies between that and Fantastic Four.
We already got John Krasinski as Reed Richards. Come on, that already happened.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he played Reed Richards.
Do you think he's going to be Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movie though?
Well, I don't know. It's an interesting theory because if you look at all the multiverse, everyone looks the same in all their multiverse incarnations, right?
But who's Mephisto? That's what I want to know. I think they're just going to say Mephisto has been every Marvel character this whole time.
It's Mephisto all along.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. Well, Agatha has a connection to Mephisto too, so we'll see.
Well, and she's got a show, so
and so does Scarlet Witch. So who knows? I don't know. I mean, I guess they're probably really worried about bringing the actual devil into the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe that's a little too much. They could rewrite it though as him being a demon instead of the devil. So
that's true. I'm sure they'll have to tone it down.
Kang is Mephisto.
Or Dr. Doom and Mephisto are one and the same.
Kang is Dr. Doom and Mephisto. And
of course, it's hard. I mean, and this is my problem, but it's hard to watch these movies now in these trailers. Like, oh, Evangeline Lilly, you're troublesome.
Oh, yeah.
And also, what's her face from Wakanda Forever? I'm like, oh, she's troublesome.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They prominently in the Quantumania trailer have Bill Murray, and it's like, that's not good timing. But,
yeah, but that's kind of just come out. But Evangeline Lilly has been sort of vocally anti-vax and a whack job for a while. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it like that, but yes.
And Letitia Wright. It's like
Bill Murray has just sort of been revealed. I'm like, but have you seen Bill Murray? He's an old guy who doesn't give a fuck. Basically, he just does whatever he wants.
He's just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I'm Bill Murray. I'm an American. I'm an institution. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna jail Bill Murray? I don't think so.
Nah.
So. Which also makes it more interesting about like all the stuff you hear about him and what's her face from Charlie's Angels, how they hated each other. So maybe he's. I always thought it was Lucy Liu because Lucy Liu seemed troublesome or trouble. Maybe that's just my prejudice, man.
Dude,
I just hate women. I'm a misogynist. I hate women. So
way to go.
So maybe it's Bill Murray all along.
It's Bill Murray all along. He's Mephisto.
He's been the problem.
Yes, maybe he's actually Mephisto in the MCU.
He does have a long association with that website, The Chive. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's basically a website where they have like women and boobs and all kinds of stuff. So, because they have like golf charities, and of course he loves golf, and so they have like Bill Murray T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. They have a big association with the Murray brothers.
So he's a lech, basically.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's meeting the girls, but I'm sure if he goes to like chive parties, there's probably young ladies in bikinis.
Sure.
Which is fine. If you want to be a young lady in a bikini, I say go for it. But it's just
just don't be around Bill Murray or Chevy Chase or any of those guys.
Yeah, it's funny at the old school. Next we're gonna find out like Garrett Morris was an asshole or something. So.
Really? Oh, that'd be shocking.
No, is he still alive? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy's recovered. He was kind of like a asshole, I think, there for a while, but he's come back.
Well, he's recovered his whatever you want to talk. No, Garrett Morris is still alive. Everybody, sorry, Garrett, I didn't realize that.
We should have him on the show. We should get all those guys on the show. I'm sure they'd do it.
Garrett Morris is 85 years old.
Oh, wow, good. That's cool.
What was he on? He was on that show, Two Broke Girls, right?
I would know. I don't know.
You don't watch TV?
I don't watch Two Broke Girls. I don't.
No?
No.
Why not? Oh, he's also in Ant-Man apparently too. Oh, that makes sense.
Is he?
Well, he was in the original Ant-Man as a cab driver.
Oh, okay.
So now I have to know. Yeah, Two Broke Girls. That the reason I bring that up is because it has Kat Dennings in it. She was the lead of that show.
Oh, see, now I'm surprised I didn't watch it because she's good.
Yes, she is good, and the show was.
Oh,
was
yeah, no, I remember that now. No, I didn't watch it, but yeah, now I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, it was 6 seasons for that show, dude.
Yeah, it did well.
I'm just saying. But I like Kat Dennings, and good for her for having a career. But there's a connection. See, there's the Garrett Morris MCU connection because Kat Dennings, of course, also in the MCU as well.
So Darcy is Mephisto, is what you're saying.
Darcy, yeah, exactly. See how you brought it together. Darcy is Mephisto. See, okay. You understand me. You get me.
I get you. I feel you, bro.
You feel me. Okay. All right. Well, on that note,
we should go to picks.
Let's talk about picks. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I'll go first. Mine's going to probably be pretty quick, but my pick is Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
There's pills for that.
My pick is Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. Okay. I know a lot of people were not a fan of her tenure in the role. Were not a fan of the episodes that aired and that she did. I am the opposite. I thought she had a great run. Her era in Doctor Who was definitely different in tone and story structure as the previous seasons since 2005. And I thought it was kind of nice. They refreshed. They told some great stories. I thought she did fantastic as the Doctor, and made it no big deal that the Doctor was now female-bodied instead of male-bodied. And so I thought she did great. I have rewatched her episodes multiple times, and my only regret is that she was not in more and didn't continue for a few more years as the Doctor. So there you go, Jodie Whittaker. She's done a lot of other things that are really great. If you get a chance to see her in something else, you will get a great performance. So be on the lookout for what she does next. So there you go.
There you go.
See, I told you, nice and concise.
That was quick. Yeah, that was really quick. Yeah. I thought, you know what? I didn't watch, but I mean, why not? I guess my point is, anytime people hate something, I usually wonder what's wrong with them.
Right.
And so, like, I would imagine that Jodie Whittaker was probably great as the Doctor, or, just fine, and people just didn't like her because she's a woman, and that's stupid. So
yeah, well, you know how I feel about the quote unquote true fans and gatekeepers and all that. It's like, this isn't yours. It is something, much fans. Like any franchise. I don't own it. I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who and also Star Trek and Star Wars. Maybe you've noticed that, but I am not in the mindset that I own this and it should be the way I want it to be. I am curious to see what new are you going to tell me? What stories are you going to tell me concerning these characters? That's what I want to see. So I just don't get the whole mindset and mentality of, well, that's not real or whatever. It's like, well, none of it's real. It's all made up. You get that, right? This is not like actual stuff. It's all made up. So it is whatever the people producing it at the time decide it is. And you either, accept that and watch what they give you, or you don't watch it and you go on to something else. I mean, I don't understand the ownership of fans. And so at the same time, when a franchise goes, well, this one's going to be for the fans, or we've really listened to the fans and now we're going to give them what they want, I'm like, oh, this is probably not going to be too good, because which fans, first of all, and what part of what the fans are complaining about are you talking about that you're giving? So fans themselves, true fans, can't even be consistent on what they actually want. Well,
true fans, bro.
We want Roddenberry's vision. It's like, well, he had very little overall in the franchise, of Star Trek's 50-plus year tenure to do with Star Trek. I hate to burst your bubble, but he wasn't the one he didn't look over every script since the beginning until now. And he was also not a very nice guy either. And, he laid down the framework for the show, and everything that's come since then has adhered to that framework. Maybe not the way you want, but again, it's not yours. So if you want it to be the way you want, why don't you get into TV producing and writing and work your way up and work on the show?
Wow.
There you go. Sorry.
Joe Dilworth career advice, everybody.
No, my career advice for them is to shut up.
And then you can get sued by CBS, whatever, and then have to stop your show anyway. Some people try to do that. It's like, I'm going to make my own Star Trek. They're like, nope, you can't do that.
Yeah,
sorry.
well, legitimately work your way into the actual
you have to
production.
legitimately
That's what I'm
work
saying. That's a career choice.
Couldn't you call it Trek to the Stars?
Yes, you could.
No one will understand that. Okay,
anyway,
well, that's okay. That's fine. My pick is something that we talked about a minute ago, I think, or a few minutes ago. I know I mentioned it. It's the 2022 film Barbarian, directed by Zach Krieger, starring Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. It's not a movie that you understand. Just listening to that cast, you're going to think, oh, it's got to be about this, but it's not. It totally flips the script. I really enjoyed it a lot, and it had some really good twists. And it goes in some weird directions, which I appreciate. So anytime something can sort of surprise me is good. So I'm not going to give away anything, really, except to say that there's definitely some weird shit that happens and, and some twists that come.
It gets weird, folks.
It gets weird. Yeah, it does. And Zach Krieger does a really good job directing. It's his first sort of solo directorial debut, but he comes from from the comedy troupe The Whitest Kids You Know, which had some really good funny skits and whatnot. He's also done a bunch of other TV stuff and whatever, but it's a really good movie, and I think that he'll probably get a career out of it, as a horror director. Although I don't know if I use the word horror necessarily, but it's kind of a horror movie, but it's also kind of a psychological thriller, and then some other weird shit thrown in too. So it's nice. Fun, and if you care about Rotten Tomatoes, it's 92%, which is pretty good. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, that's my pick. See Barbarian and enjoy something different, I guess. Justin Long's new movie, which is weird. It's kind of like The Black Phone. Did you see The Black Phone? It's also like a weird sort of twist movie too, although Black Phone is more like overtly sort of horror in a way, because that's Scott Derrickson, but it's like, and I think if you haven't seen Black Phone, also that could be like another pick, because it's creepy as hell, and also really good too. So there's
another phone horror movie out there, Mr. Somebody's Phone, with Donald Sutherland calling beyond the grave, that's also supposed to be really good. So
yeah, exactly. Ethan Hawke in Black Phone is terrific. I think if you're talking about, I know, Oscar buzz or whatever, I think you should include him, because he's super creepy in Black Phone. I know I'm supposed to be talking about Barbarian. I mean, Justin Long is terrific in Barbarian too, if you want to talk about that too. But anyway, watch it. It's interesting.
It's good. Watch it. Yes.
It's good. So find the Flickcast at all the places you find podcasts, Apple and Spotify, etc. Good pods, wherever you find things. You can also find it at our website, theflickcast.com, and Joe and I are on the socials. Joe is at What Joe Writes. I am at Chris Yu, and also Ulrich Pix at Instagram. I actually posted a new photo at Instagram the other day.
Nice.
Some artsy black and white shit, so go check that out. Because I'm a photographer with a capital P.
Nice.
I shoot in black and white because, I'm artsy.
Right.
Also, I have a lot of black and white film that's sitting in my fridge that I need to use. That shit expires. Who knew? I guess I did. And then we have, the website, and you can find us on the socials, and you can find the show, and you can give us a rating and a review, or just a rating would be fine. We'd appreciate that. And if you have any comments, feel free to drop your comments, or if you like things or hate things, or, all the things, whatever you feel like doing, or just listen and have fun. Enjoy. Turn us on while you're on the toilet, or, in the background. When you're doing
don't turn
something
me
else.
on while you're on the toilet. That's a little weird.
I don't mean that.
Okay.
Come on, keep it clean. Now we lost our family rating.
Keep it clean, dude.
Keep it clean. Okay. Now I can't click the clean button for Apple. Thanks.
Well, you already said the F-bomb at the top of the show.
With your toilet fucking jokes.
See?
Or is it a fucking toilet joke? I don't even know.
It's wrong either way. So.
It's wrong either way. Sure. Anything else, Joe? I want to end.
No, I'm going to let you go take some photos before your film expires. So.
I think it's already expired. Right. I mean, it's not really a big deal, actually. I have lots of film in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
I keep it in the freezer. The only thing that really happens to it is sometimes if it's color, like the colors shift occasionally, or you have to expose it more.
Well, that can be artsy. So
it loses its sensitivity, but I've never really had a problem with expired film. It's never really been an issue. I have some Polaroid film, peel apart Polaroid film from when they last made it, like in the 2000s.
Whoa,
so
yeah,
because I have my dad's old Polaroid that uses peel apart film, which is really nice film actually, but you can't get it anymore. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess I could pick Polaroid peel apart film for next week.
There you go.
But talk about old cameras. That should have been one of my picks. Old cameras. Oh well, next time.
You got your next like 2 or 3 picks now, so good.
I do indeed. So all right, anything else, Joe?
No, I think that's it.
All right, cool. For Joe Dilworth, I'm Chris Ulrich. That was the Flickcast. Thanks for listening.